Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I've got quite a few things to talk about, including a new Star Wars arcade game, some forgotten Battlefront games that some of you might not know about, and finally a chance for you guys to contribute to battlefrontupdates.com. When you talk about Star Wars Battlefront, you usually think of two games, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. But many of you guys probably didn't know that there are actually two more Battlefront games called Elite Squadron and Renegade Squadron that were both released on the PSP. I can honestly admit that before I started this channel I didn't know about those two games, simply because I had only played Battlefront on my old Xbox. I was never really active in any Battlefront community and I didn't have a PSP. That's also the reason to why I haven't made any videos about them yet, simply because I didn't feel like I knew enough about them. But trust me, I do read the comments you leave about them sometimes. So why have I decided to bring it up in this video? Well, I've decided to open up the ability for you guys to contribute to battlefrontupdates.com with articles and posts about pretty much whatever you want that is related to Battlefront or just Star Wars in general. This is simply because I haven't had the time to keep the website as active as I'd like to, and on top of that I'm not the best writer. So when I see you guys having such amazing ideas and thoughts, I just thought why not let you guys help contribute to the community. So before I made this video I asked one of the most active members on the forum right now, Das Sikorsky, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, if he wanted to become a contributor, which he did. And the first thing he actually wrote about was just what I mentioned, the handheld Battlefront games. So thanks to that I got a little lesson on what those games actually included, and that's why I wanted to bring it up in this video. I'll get back to the contributor position in the end of the video for anyone interested. So what did these handheld games bring to the table compared to the original two Battlefront games? Well, they did actually bring in some of the features that we have already discussed that we might want in the upcoming game by DICE. This includes stuff like customizable character loadouts and space-to-ground combat, which is something I know a lot of people want to see in the upcoming game. Do you want to equip your sniper and jetpack? Well, in these games you can. Keep in mind though that this was on handheld devices, so the implementation wasn't the best. But it's still something that DICE should definitely take into account when designing the new game. Another feature that was in these games were heroes and villains in space. And this is honestly something I really don't understand why they didn't have in the original games. I mean, just imagine being able to play as Han Solo in space and pilot the Millennium Falcon. That would be pretty cool. As a conclusion though, he says that these games do have some really cool features, but because they are on handheld devices, they simply can't match up to the original games. So for a PSP game they are really good, but as a Battlefront game they are simply mediocre, and for those of you who haven't played it, you really aren't missing out on much. I'd highly suggest you guys to go and read the article for yourself for a more in-depth view, because it's really well written, and the link will be in the description below. So what is this Star Wars arcade game I mentioned at the start of the video? Well, earlier this week IGN announced that Bandai Namco will be releasing a Star Wars Battle Pod arcade game in 2015. This is unfortunately only coming out in the US, which is a real shame for us living in the Europe or other parts of the world. Anyways, this game is basically a first-person pilot game that gives players control of ships like the Millennium Falcon, Snowspeeders and TIE Fighters. You will be able to relive classic moments such as Endor, Hoth, the destruction of the Death Star and all that kind of epic stuff that any Star Wars fans want to relive. This will all be played on a 180-degree dome screen inside what looks like a mini cockpit. Judging by this information and the trailer, it seems to be the ultimate Star Wars piloting experience if you want to get as close to the movies as possible. Especially since you'll now be controlling the ships with a real control and not just a mouse or a console controller. That's pretty much all the info we have about the game so far. If any of you guys see this arcade in the US next year, I'd love to hear your opinion on it. So, before ending this video, I'd just like to give a few more details for those of you interested in becoming a contributor on battlefrontupdates.com. First of all, this is no job or anything like that, so you won't get paid for it, simply because I pay more than I get paid for the website, which is also why I will never require you to do a set amount of posts. You can do one post, you can do 50 posts, that's all up to you. I'm just hoping that you'll do it for fun and as a hobby the same way I do. The topics can be very varied, anything from summaries of my videos in terms of news, since that's something I haven't been able to keep up with, or just picture collections of funny or cool Battlefront stuff, sharing your own ideas for game modes and such. If you have an idea, just ask me about it. If you want to know more about this, feel free to email me at battlefrontupdates@gmail.com with your Skype name, age and a short summary of what your relationship to Star Wars is and what you think you could contribute with. I'd prefer people over 18 years old, but I can always make exceptions if I feel like you're mature enough. So that brings this video to an end. Thank you all for watching and for the continued support here on the channel. I will see you all soon again, Battlefrontians, and may the Force be with you.